Flow, special interests, and hyperfocus. What makes neurodivergent thinking different? When I talk to people about someone with certain unique traits, I often hear statements like, "You can't deal with him, he's autistic." Words associated with neurodivergence are used almost exclusively in a negative context. To clarify, neurodivergent individuals are those whose cognitive and neurological processes differ from the average. Let's first break down how these terms are commonly understood in today's society, using autism as an example. Stereotypes and misconceptions. Prejudices against people who exhibit traits commonly associated with neurodivergence often stem from stereotypes. The general perception tends to polarize. On one side, we have successful personalities like Elon Musk. On the other, the idea of individuals entirely incapable of functioning in society. The media plays a significant role in this. Movies and TV series often portray characters with autistic traits as genius outsiders. Another layer of prejudice arises from the way autistic traits are framed as part of an autism spectrum disorder. Discussions revolve around illness, diagnosis, and treatment. Concepts become blurred. Either everyone with certain traits is grouped with diagnosed autistics, including those who face significant challenges and cannot function independently, which is a separate topic I do not intend to downplay here, or there is an artificial and unhelpful categorization of individuals with unique traits. There is an excessive and unnecessary effort to simplify this complex subject to create the illusion that we understand it. To me, this seems like the opposite of understanding. Complex questions do not have simple answers. It is important to emphasize that not everyone who exhibits so-called autistic traits manifests all these characteristics, and if they do, it is to varying degrees. Moreover, not everyone who appears to exhibit an autistic trait is autistic. A unique way of experiencing and interacting with the world requires an individualized approach if we truly want to understand it. Every person is unique. Some exhibit the traits listed below, while others are unique in different ways. What are autistic traits according to the World Health Organization, WHO? To highlight an ongoing issue in modern practices, let's examine how autism is diagnosed in medical settings. Social interaction difficulties. Difficulty understanding and using nonverbal communication cues, e.g., eye contact, gestures, facial expressions. Lack of reciprocity in social relationships, e.g., sharing interests or emotions. Communication challenges. Delayed or absent speech development without alternative communication methods, e.g., gestures. Echolalia. Repetition of words or phrases. Problems initiating or maintaining a dialogue. Repetitive behaviors and interests. Strong fixation on routines or rituals. Repetitive movements. Limited or intense focus on specific topics or objects. Sensory processing. Hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity to sensory inputs, e.g., sounds, lights, textures. Unusual reactions to sounds, colors, or physical touch. Cognitive and emotional behavior. Difficulty understanding others' perspectives. Trouble adapting to changes or unexpected events. When you read this, you may recognize yourself in some of these characteristics. However, this does not mean you are diagnosable as autistic, nor does it mean you have a condition that requires treatment. And it certainly does not mean that it is something that should disqualify you. Flow, special interests, and hyperfocus. Let's look at an example of how superficial understanding can lead to confusion in concepts. I am not autistic, I have no reason to think so, but that does not mean that someone looking at my past behavior superficially couldn't find, for instance, signs of intense interest. This was the publicly available part of the article. The full version is available on richardgolian.com.